Welcome, people of the World Wide Web. So it's Cypher Sigma here, and it is Saturday, so it is movie time, and we all know from the title it is Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So yes, so this is the first movie in what is essentially, or they hope to be, the new trilogy from the Planet of the Apes saga. This is directed by Wes Ball, who comes after the Maze Runner series, what he's mainly predominantly known for. So obviously does have the CG and the kind of fantasy elements based in there. Also has quite a star cast of probably up and coming stars for most of it. So we start off with Owen Teague as Noah. He is the main ape that this story is situated around. He is kind of a group of three. So you have Lydia Peckman, who is Sonna, and Travis Jeffrey, who is Anna. And these three apes are kind of a little, like, they've grown up together and stuff like this. And this is where the movie starts, and you think it's kind of going to go with them. You have other notable characters in this, as Peter McCann as Raka, or as most people will know him from as Bortis from the Seth MacFarlane sci-fi series. It escapes me. The Orville, that was it. So we also have Freya Allen as Nova, the human lady or girl who you've seen in the trailer and adverts. And then we have a few other people. So we have kind of the main villain, Abe-ish, by Kevin Durant as Proximus Caesar. We have William H. Marsky, who's Tredavian, if you pronounce his name or his character name right, as another human that we come along near the end of the story. And then kind of a special thing for me is Eka Darville. So he's from Jessica Jones, and he's also from the Power Rangers. So he plays a monkey called Sylvia, or Sylvia in this. So, and now I've introduced the whole cast, we should get into the story. So there is a one tiny bit after the credits, and it's a sound effect. So you don't necessarily need to wait for that. But this story portrays, we have Noah and his two compadres looking for these eggs, because they come from a tribe where these apes befriend hawks and eagles, and basically as a rite of passage they have to get their own egg to get to basically grow up to train to be their own eagle or vulture or whatever it is when they're older. So you have the three of these going along. As they go along, they come into contact with a human, but they don't quite know it's a human. Anyway, they go back to, they all get an egg, they go back to their camp or their village, and basically during the night the human girl sneaks in, breaks the egg, and then that leaves Noah to go and try and get another one. Unfortunately, during this process he comes across another group of apes. They basically ransack the village, take everybody and bring them back to their own base. Noah is thought to be killed by the head gorilla that is in this story, but fortunately he survives. He goes then on this mission. He meets up with Raka, who is a orange monkey. I've forgotten what now, but yeah, he's basically the last living disciple of the original Caesar. And this these new apes that they've come across that have ransacked everybody, basically they follow Proximus Caesar, and he wants power and everything that the humans have. Obviously Noah goes on this journey, he befriends kind of Nova, and on this they kind of learn to overthrow Proxima. By the end of it, that is kind of the gist story in. There is more coming, and it does foreshadow and show a few other things, and I'm not going to go into the spoiler bit, but that is it. I did enjoy it, I would give it that much, but with more to it. So spoiler warning is up, and let's get into it. So as I said, the story starts with Nova and his two compadres, two friends, possibly a love interest. They're trying to get these eggs. They come across this nest. There is only two, unfortunately. Noah, being the youngest of the apes, doesn't have an egg, so he has to climb high to the highest nest and manages to get himself an egg. They go back to the village. His dad is the bird elder, or bird like whisperer person, so there is kind of a lot of pressure on him. And as I say, as he is sleepless, and he goes and helps a part of a fish stand that his mum has, he hears a noise coming from this fish tent, and obviously this is when he encounters Nova. Obviously there's an altercation and Nova crushes his egg, and this is what basically leads him to need to go out on this. Now, since this, since they went and got the eggs in the first place, one of their blankets was stolen and they retrieve it, and this is where one of the kind of guards of this village goes out already on a mission to try and find it. He kills 2 scouts, but he gets killed himself, and as he gets killed, this is when Noah comes across him and he sees these new apes. These new apes, unfortunately, because of this ape and Noah's horse, which unfortunately he left unattended, it leads these apes back to the village and they basically ransack everyone. Noah goes back, tries to help his dad and his mum and everyone, and unfortunately there's a fight ensues and he gets knocked out and believed to be dead. The next probably about hour of the story is him kind of travelling along, him meeting up with Raka, who unfortunately Raka's partner was killed, and he tells him all about Caesar, because his apes were all clinging about Caesar and they've heard of the Caesar, but they don't know what was actually involved. This story is 300 years from the previous trilogy that we've had, and it is supposed to kind of directly tie into the 60s movies as well, just for a bit of food. Anyway, him and Raka go along, and this is where they encounter Nova, and Raka's teachings of how to, be well with humans and stuff teaches Nova to kind of get on with them. They think she's mute. They think she wants to return to animals, return to the humans. So Nova leaves them, and then there's the instant you see in the grass where she gets chased, and then they end up all meeting up. And basically Nova is helping her along his way to get his family and tribe back. His dad does die, unfortunately, in the early scene. Spoiler there. Unfortunately, along the way, they do get kidnapped. They go along a bridge, it's a trap, they get killed. Raka falls into the water and is presumed to be dead. As I always say, if you don't see a body, they're never dead. That's always my mindset. My wife hates me when I quote that all the time, but she's learned to live with that motto, and it has actually served her quite true as well when watching stuff and figuring stuff out. But anyway, so they get taken back to this kind of shipyard that's near this beach, and you've got this big blast doors that the Proximus Caesar's monkeys are all trying to open. He has a human that he's helping teaching him. That's why they got these electric weapons and stuff. And he's basically trying to get into these blast doors. Nova, or May, as we find out she is along the way, can actually speak. She actually is very intelligent, so she doesn't suffer from the side effects of the virus that made the apes intelligent and made the humans dumb. Very interesting to see that William H. Macy's character also has this same kind of immunity or that. Anyway, she obviously knows something that is inside of this complex. She doesn't want Proximus to have it, so she latches out this plan to blow him up. Noah goes along with it. They go in, they open the doors. Once they've got once May picks up this computer chip that she's managed to get and doesn't explain it, but Proximus is waiting for them. There is obviously a big battle and something, but as May runs away, she sets off the dam explosion, or the dynamite explosion that she's got rigged up to the dam. The dam floods, and then there's a big battle. The main gorilla gets killed, and so does Proxima in a final battle, which leads Noah to reclaim his tribe, go back and rebuild. And he does have a meeting up with Nova after it, but Nova basically abandoned them when they open the main doors. Noah kind of has she can't be trusted, she's a human and stuff like this, and that kind of then leads it onto, you see her going back to a kind of sealed compartment. A lady comes out, she gives her the code, she goes in, and then you realise it works some satellite dishes and the humans can then start to talk to each other. Where that leads to, we don't know. So what did I think of this movie? I did really enjoy this movie. But this is where I only watched this a day ago, and I normally give it a few days, but unfortunately the next day will be when this video is out, so I have to make a decision on this. I'll put the mark up. I'm going to put it at 6.8 out of 10. I did enjoy it. I think the CG and stuff is well, and I do think bringing in a load of new actors and actresses worked really, really well. It's good to see them try new things. but I did find that Proximus Caesar wasn't that intimidating. The big gorilla that was with him was more intimidating, but again didn't have too much of a standing point. Again, you focus just on this one gorilla, and it's kind of the story has always been and Raka that humans and apes work together, and that's where they'll go, and that's kind of where the apes along, and that's kind of how you have the story only on one ape and one human, or two apes and one human, and that's kind of how it is for a lot of it. And then at the end you turn out that humans are idiots like always and want to betray everybody and have everything their own way. They can't understand that they created something, that they screwed up civilization, they killed off most of the humans and the apes, unfortunately, with it. They're not happy with that, and they want things the way it was. They're not prepared to work, and that's the kind of message go across, which I think was kind of the wrong message to kind of send. I did like the hawks, and I did love the pairing with that. There was one bit where the complex gets flooded, but obviously water is up this height and the complex is like this high, and the water goes in and then manages to fill up the complex, and that logistically I didn't see how that would happen anyway either, which was a little confusing, but hey ho, it is what it is. I'm not gonna pull points, but this is where little things out. You know, I did like the character of Noah. I would have liked him to been with these two other friendly apes that he has, and have more about them going forwards. And it may be that this is the start of the next film, and this is how they're going to build it up, which I would thoroughly enjoy. I just thought, I would probably say like the beginning and the end I really liked, and it's just this middle bit where you're learning, where it's the apes kind of seem like the human realistic person. You know, they want to, you know, they're happy with what they do. They don't want they consider humans to kind of be scrap things, but they're happy to kind of step away from them and not really interfere with them. Whereas if it's the other way around, humans want to capture apes and all this stuff and do everything like that. And I think that really shows the humanity in an animal than a human, or what you class as, you know, the apes are more human than the humans are, and the humans are just greedy, selfish ones, and they just want everything their own way when they created the situation themselves. Or one, James Franco did, his character. I like the fact that they reference Caesar and they're keeping it all in line. But even like, that he kidnapped all of the apes, when you go back there's not that many guards or something. This is the thing that didn't seem as daunting, and I say it's kind of like Proximus Caesar is kind of just a mid-level bad guy just to throw you off from the whole human element, and it's kind of going to go, and if it goes back to the humans versus thing, this is kind of what we've already seen in like War for the Planet of the Apes and stuff. Which is why I haven't rated it as good. As I said, I was going to rate it 7 last night. I've gone 6.8. I still reckon this will fluctuate, and I think probably another watch. But I did enjoy it. I did like the movie. I did like the actors and actresses. So it takes you away of how good the CG is, into some of the stuff that you don't realise it is CG, and that they're not actually proper apes, they're humans. But anyway, that has been my review for Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Have you seen this movie? What did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. Otherwise, I shall see you in the next one.